And now joining us on the line for his take on the Durban July is Clyde Basel, Executive of Sales and Marketing at Phumelela Gaming and Leisure. Good morning to you, Clyde. Clyde Basel, that's a name I know from racecourse commentary. So do you still do that? Have you moved?
Yes.
Do you straddle that?
Every now and then, yes. Every now and then we have a go at it, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great skill, and it's a wonderful thing, bringing the excitement of the race to people. Now, Phumelela, you, as I was saying to Philip a moment ago, you can't create an event with a 100-year history, but the Vodacom Durban July must have had a big effect on your revenue there. Give us a picture of how important these events are in terms of the cycle of the year.
Oh, well, they're absolutely essential, I think. I mean, your day-to-day race meetings ultimately attract your interested horse racing punter, whereas events like these each reach your once a year punter, which hopefully one could ultimately convert into becoming more interested in the sport of horse racing. But such events as the Vodacom Durban July, the J&B Met, the Sansui Summer Cup, Champions Day at Turfentine, all these events are rather crucial to the big picture.
Do you see an upsurge in interest in gambling on the horses, say, for example, the week after such a big event?
I think there is interest in it, but then ultimately, it will basically start balancing itself out, a few weeks afterwards. So there still is interest in horse racing per se. A lot of people are still speaking about the sport, etc. And there may be one or two, that ultimately come back and have an additional wager because they're still keen on the outcome of the sport and kind of interested or basically more curious about what the sport is all about. But I think what's important is how we, from the amount of people that come racing, how we then interact post the event.
Certainly the times I've been to the racecourse in recent years, a lot more effort is made to look after people. Looking at horse racing as a gambling opportunity, I wonder if you do enough to, I have a personal view that the odds that you can get from the bookmakers, for example, and sometimes on the tote, are sometimes better than the odds that you could get in any other form of gambling. Plus there's the excitement, plus the colour, plus the day out at the races. I wonder if you're selling the experience enough.
Well, we're probably not, to be honest. It is something, however, that we have as a sport. The various bodies of the sport have just recently, in fact, come together to say that we need to sit down and find a way as a single body, as opposed to individual bodies, going out there and making ways in reaching more people. And as you say, exactly that, selling the experience, making it more attractive. And I think what's important for me is to sell the lifestyle element of the sport, because there's so much more to the sport than actual just having a bet on a horse. I mean, there's the experience side. You're absolutely spot on. To come racing, to bring your family with, to enjoy the day out, for the ladies to come out and dress up and give themselves an opportunity to put on their best hat, all that kind of stuff. And it's quite a unique sport in terms of entertainment. I mean, you don't get to do this every day.
Also, it's much more interesting going to look at a horse between races than it is to look at a slot machine. I find mid-afternoon in a dark casino is so depressing compared to being out in the sunshine. Clyde, I must ask you...
Such a wonderful, the animal itself, the horse per se, is such a wonderful champion. He really is.
Clyde, I must ask you about the race itself on Saturday. Nozipo, my partner, and I in the studio on Friday were talking about we needed a couple of horses with business names and political sounding names because we talk about these subjects. So I chose Halve the Deficit, and she chose Legislate, and Legislate came in on an objection. Now that makes it even more exciting. It's the equivalent of the video replay for the penalty over the line kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, these things have happened before in the Vodacom Durban July, and they happen in the sport of horse racing. To get these horses that are 450 kilos, etc., with a guy who weighs 50 kilos on it to steer it along and focus and concentrate. And, sometimes they do happen to lean to the right or do happen to lean to the left from intimidation or whatever it may be. And unfortunately, the way it turned out is that Legislate, he did seem to take a bump. Some say quite a severe bump. Others rather say it was a mild bump. So you get your opinion, and if you ask 10 people, 5 are going to say the race should have remained as it was, the result, and the other 5 will tell you they were happy that they reversed the result.
Was it one of the great races Saturdays?
No, it was, yeah, it was a fantastic race. Look, there was a tailwind. There must have been a, 50, 60 kilometre tailwind that was blowing, helping horses home. So the pace was very, very slow, unusually slow for the Vodacom Durban July. They did not go fast at all. And as they turned for home, the two horses who in fact were Wiley Hall and Legislate, they got away from the field. I think with the help of the tailwind, they skipped 3-4 lengths clear, and the rest of the field just couldn't catch up. And those two sort of fought it out the whole way down the straight and end up a short dead finish between the two.
Okay, Clyde, thanks. I sense that you're about to go into commentary mode, so I'll stop you there. Clyde is Executive of Sales and Marketing at Phumelela Gaming and Leisure.